So there's been some talk about who Moses Ituama's next opponent will be, looking like they're targeting the December 13th card in Manchester. And there's been talks around, obviously, Moses' next opponent being David Adeleye. Now, this is a fight that I really like for Moses. I like it because it's definitely a step up from Dillian White, sorry. But it's very winnable. David Adeleye is very hittable, but he's tough and he can pack a punch in his own right too. So he's not the type of guy you can just walk through, although Moses may very well end up walking through him because he's that good. But a guy like Filip Hrgović couldn't run through him. Fabio Wardley was able to stop him. Jamie TKV was able to get to him and land clean shots on him. But no one's really just ran through him like that, right? Moses could though. Moses is big enough, he's quick enough, he's stronger enough, he's a good enough boxer to do that. But I don't fancy him to run through David Adeleye. I think he probably could stop David Adeleye late in that fight. But you look at David Adeleye, if he's got any paths to victory, I'm thinking not not really, if I'm being honest, other than the stoppage, because David Adeleye definitely packs a punch. We all know that. He rocked Hrgović, he had him hurt there. He obviously stopped Jamie TKV with a big shot. Whether you thought it was illegal or not, nonetheless, it was a huge shot and put him finished him, right? But Moses isn't really going to be there for the taking the same way Jamie TKV is, even the same way Filip Hrgović is. Whereas Moses is a lot sharper, should be a lot more fast on his feet. Not to say that Filip Hrgović wasn't disciplined and wasn't able to stick to a game plan. That's ultimately what won Filip Hrgović the fight. But I think Moses will be far more effective at implementing the game plan and actually going out there and fighting and getting the stoppage, right? And yeah, winning all 12 rounds. I'm assuming it would be a 12 round. It would be main event in Manchester, but yeah, sort of out of left field because I think a lot of people probably forgetting about David Adeleye now, and probably rightfully so, if we're being honest, because he was getting outboxed by Jamie TKV and then got thoroughly outboxed by Filip Hrgović. Of course, he did beat Jamie TKV, but in my opinion, that's one of those performances that sort of left a bit of a sour taste in my mouth. And then, of course, he goes on to get the Hrgović fight, and what everyone well, not everyone, what I expected to happen against Filip Hrgović is what happened, and Hrgović outboxed him. And then he gets another opportunity against Moses Itauma. No doubt will be a decent payday. Like I said, it'll be the main event in Manchester, December 13th. So commercially, I imagine that fight will do quite well, especially Moses is coming off, a huge win, biggest win of his career, got a lot of momentum, a lot of media hype around him at the moment too. And he'll be looking to carry that forward into a fight against David Adeleye, and I think he will do it successfully. I think he's more than capable of putting it on David Adeleye early. I think his Moses is so good. I think he's capable of putting on pretty much any heavyweight early, right? But I'm a fan of this approach where you're not rushing him to a Caballero fight. You're not rushing him to a Joseph Parker fight. You're not rushing him to a Usyk fight. Let him take the David Adeleye fight. After the David Adeleye fight, he fights the winner of Fraser v TKV for the British heavyweight title. Let's not forget about that British heavyweight title. In my opinion, that's a title that holds a lot of prestige, and Moses shouldn't just skip it. I think because you can go. The thing is, he's basically at world level at this point, right? It would be tough, but it could be done. Right, Moses could fight Fraser Clark, probably beat him because he's bigger and faster than him, and younger. There's far less miles on the clock. And Fraser Clark's beatable. He's been stopped before. He could stop a Fraser Clark, claim the heavyweight title, then probably fight someone like and then at that point, I'd want to see him in there with someone like a Caballero, or even a Wardley. A Wardley fight would be huge domestically. A Caballero fight, Joseph Parker, and then a Usyk fight. Because there's no need to rush this guy, and I'm liking what I'm hearing in terms of the fight rumours for the next fight. Like a David Adeleye fight is a good move for me. I think it makes sense for both guys. Of course, it'll be a big payday for David Adeleye, no doubt. He'll be the B-side. He'll be the underdog in this fight, which kind of suits David Adeleye because he's sort of a counter puncher, big puncher. If if the openings are there, David Adeleye is definitely a good enough boxer to sort of take advantage of those openings. Unfortunately, Moses Itauma is very good. I don't think those openings are really going to be there, but if they are, David Adeleye is the type of guy who's gonna find them and take them make the most of it. But yeah, I'd be super curious to know what you guys think of this fight. Do you think this will be an easy fight for Moses Itauma if it gets made, or do you think David Adeleye has got a real chance of causing a huge upset here? Be curious to know what you guys think in the comments below. And yeah, another episode of the Seth Solo Side Quest in the bag, and I'm out. Peace.